In a small American town, two brothers lived in the same house, James and Daniel. Same father, same poverty, same school, same life. But 20 years later, one brother was the most successful businessman in the city, and the other was still working at the same kind of factory their father had worked his entire life. Both of them worked hard. Both of them grew up under the same roof. So what was it that made one rich and kept the other broke? The answer was hidden in their father Henry's final night. Henry was dying. He called both sons to his bedside and said quietly, "I worked my whole life and stayed poor. Now I know why. I have no money to leave you, but I have 10 things. 10 things that, if you actually follow them, will make you rich. I couldn't do it because I figured this out too late. Tonight, I'm giving these to you. This is the only inheritance I have." James took every single word straight into his heart. Daniel heard his father, but gave those words no importance. He figured he already knew how life worked. And that one moment divided two brothers forever. Henry began. "Number 1, he said, stop selling your time. Sell your value. Poor people think the more hours they work, the more money they make. But rich people know that the world doesn't pay you for your time. It pays you for what you deliver. Learn a skill that solves a real problem, and you will earn more in 1 hour than most people earn in a week." James wrote that down in his mind like a law. Daniel thought, skills take months to learn. Right now I can pick up a shift tomorrow and have cash in my hand by Friday. What's the point of waiting that long? Number 2, read every single day. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. The rich know that knowledge compounds just like money. Every book you read makes the next decision a little smarter, a little cheaper, a little more profitable. James started reading every night before bed, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour. Daniel laughed quietly to himself. Reading doesn't pay the rent, he thought. I've got actual work to do in the morning. Number 3, see opportunity where others see problems. Henry told them about 2 salesmen who arrived in a town where nobody wore shoes. The first one turned around and left. "Nothing to sell here," he said. The second one's eyes went wide. "Nobody has shoes yet. I can sell to everyone." Rich people see the same world as everyone else. They just ask a different question. Not why is this hard, but what does this make possible? James started paying attention to problems around him differently, not as walls, as doors.
Daniel saw problems too. He just saw them as reasons to stay put. Why start something that might not work out? Better to keep the steady paycheck and not risk anything. Number 4, spend time with people who are going somewhere. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Rich people know this, and they protect it fiercely. They find people who talk about ideas, opportunities, and growth, not just complaints and excuses. James started showing up at local business events. He felt out of place at first, but he kept going back. Daniel stayed home with the same crew he had known since high school. Good guys, he told himself, loyal guys, and they were. But every conversation circled back to the same things: bad bosses, low pay, and how nothing ever changes for people like them. Number 5, put yourself out there. Show people what you can do. The rich are not afraid to talk about their skills. They share their work. They introduce themselves. They make themselves visible. Because in this world, the best opportunity almost never walks up to someone who is hiding. James started telling people what he was learning, what he was building, even when it was small. Daniel cringed at the idea. That feels like bragging, he thought. I'll let my work speak for itself. I don't need to go around promoting myself like some kind of salesman. Number 6, get bigger than your problems. Every person who ever built anything real hit moments where everything seemed to be falling apart. The rich don't avoid those moments, they grow through them. Because on the other side of every hard problem is a version of you that knows how to handle the next one. James's first small business failed completely. He lost money. He felt humiliated. He started over. Daniel watched it happen and felt quietly relieved that he had never tried. See, he thought, that's what happens when you take risks. Better to stay safe. Number 7, think both, not either or. Poor people look at options and say, I can have this one or that one. Rich people ask, how can I get both? It's not greed, it's creativity. Instead of choosing between two things, the rich find a third path that makes both possible. James started asking that question constantly. How can I do this and that? How can I save and invest at the same time? How can I work and build something on the side? Daniel never thought that way. You've got $5, you spend it on one thing. That's just reality, he figured. You can't stretch what isn't there. Number 8, build your net worth, not just your paycheck. A high hourly wage means nothing if you spend every dollar the moment it arrives. Rich people think in terms of what they own and what it's growing into, not just what they earned this week.
James started small. Very small at first, but consistently. Daniel spent everything he made. There was always a reason. Bills. The kids needed something. Something broke down. He told himself he'd start saving next month. Next month never came. Number 9, be smart with big money, not just small money. Some people are very careful with small purchases, but completely reckless with large ones. They'll drive across town to save $2 on groceries, but then spend thousands on something that loses value the moment they buy it. Rich people flip that. They are disciplined with large sums. They invest in education, mentorship, and things that grow. James spent money on a course that taught him how to run a real business. It cost him more than he was comfortable spending. It changed everything. Daniel thought it was a scam. Why would I pay someone to teach me things I could probably figure out on my own eventually? Number 10, build your network. Show up for people. Nearly 3/4 of wealthy people spend at least 5 hours every month networking and volunteering, not because they are generous with their time, because they understand that opportunities almost always come through people, not job boards. James showed up. He helped people. He remembered names. He made connections that opened doors he didn't even know existed. Daniel kept to himself. I don't need favors from anybody, he thought. I handle my own business. 20 years passed. James built a company from nothing. Slow at first, then steady, then unstoppable. He didn't get rich overnight. He got rich decision by decision, the way his father had taught him on that final night. Daniel worked hard every single day of those 20 years. Nobody could ever say he was lazy, but hard work without direction is just exhaustion with a paycheck. He was still broke, not because he didn't try, because he never changed the thinking underneath the trying. One afternoon, the two brothers sat together on the porch of their childhood home. Daniel looked at James and said, "Honestly, how did you do it?
We started in the exact same place." James was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Dad told us both the same 10 things. I just decided to believe him." Daniel looked down. He remembered that night. He remembered choosing not to listen. The saddest kind of poverty isn't the kind you're born into. It's the kind you stay in because you decided you already knew enough. Your father, your mentor, your own quiet instincts, something has already told you what you need to know. The only question is whether you're James or Daniel. If this story hit something real for you today, like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment and tell me which of the 10 hit you the hardest. And subscribe to this channel for more motivational stories and life lessons that actually change the way you think. The difference between broke and free is not luck. It is 10 decisions made consistently over time. Start today.